January 2024. A post is uploaded to r/ARG, sharing a new discovery. A video came up on my recommended, and after watching the first couple of videos, I'm intrigued. Thought I would spread the word here if it ends up becoming something bigger. The link brings you to a channel boasting nothing except 27 uploads over the course of a year, and something is clearly off. This is the story of Gustav Johansson. Minecraft beta testing log 12/11/2010 is where our story begins. Eric Anderson, a participant picked for the first beta version of Minecraft, is tasked with a series of things to do by the developers. His videos are meant to catalog his experiences during his beta testing. The list consists of chopping down 5 trees, building a house, a garden, and to capture a sheep. Early on in the video, a track begins to play as he explores the world. This track is known as Excuse by C148. What's notable about this song is that it's unreleased, making its appearance in this video all the more strange. However, that isn't the only oddity found in this video. At around the 3-minute mark, when Eric makes mention of the flowers, the text changes for a split second, revealing this string of numbers and letters. Further into the video, after successfully capturing the sheep, a red figure can be spotted off in the distance, and this isn't the only instance either. After returning back home and completing his garden, the red figure can be spotted yet again in the doorway. One last weird oddity is that the night cycle Eric is in seems to be significantly darker than normal. All of these strange occurrences clearly convey that something is wrong, and we'll have to delve deeper if we want to uncover what's really going on. Luckily for us, video 2, titled Intercepted Phone Call 5/12/2010, grants us another piece of the puzzle.
Hey, how's your first couple months been?
Good. What about you?
Pretty good. I feel like I'm adjusting pretty well.
That's good, that's good. Yeah, this is nothing like America. The rush, the customs, just the city itself. Not really used to it yet,
Yeah.
but don't get me mistaken. I really like it so far.
Yeah, me too. How's your department doing?
Oh, it's been good. It's been good. Yeah, we've been brainstorming ways to make the game more accessible and user-friendly. We wanted people of all ages, backgrounds, whatever, to be able to play it and have like a fun, immersive experience, you know?
Wow, that's really cool. Well, just don't think of anything too hard. I'm gonna have to code it.
Sure. Well, I'll try not to go too hard on you. How is that coding stuff going, by the way?
It's good. Yeah, we're dabbling with a bunch of new mechanics, like hunger, a sprinting mechanic, all sorts of different things to make the game stand out.
Oh, awesome. That's cool. Yeah. Well, hey, now I'm thinking about it, our ideas do kind of go hand in hand.
How's that?
Well, you know, we're aiming to achieve an experience that isn't the same for every single person. Like, what if somebody wants to take it slow, you know, play the game at their own pace?
What are you getting at?
Well, like, we want to make a way so that the person doesn't have a sprint option. Or maybe the flowers and the trees in the world are more vibrant and special, unique.
So like, what's the word?
Huh?
Like, what do you call that? I'm blanking on it.
Is it, personalization?
The sensor bars on the left collar vanish, and the messages, "Don't trust it, they always see you," and "They know, fill the screen." Could this be in reference to the personalization tech mentioned before, the uncensored person, or Mojang themselves? For now, we're left with more questions than answers. Let's see what we can drum up with video 3. Back to the beta test with Eric, this next log takes place a day after the first one. However, something is wrong with the footage we're seeing here, and it starts with this HUD. The hunger and XP bars being added here makes no sense, considering neither would have been added to the game until way later. Those aren't the only additions though. as once Eric gets back on ground, his entire environment has changed. Grass and trees litter the landscape, which again should not be possible, considering Eric is playing on the beta 1.0 version of Minecraft. Moving on, Eric eventually comes across another set of flowers and comments on them. And again, for a split second, the flower's text changes and shows another code. We'll come back to that at the end of this video. Eric stumbles across the area where he found the sheep, only to find that the sheep kept there had died, and in its place is some wool and mutton, another item that should just not be here. However, Eric, unlike us, doesn't seem to notice any of these oddities. The video cuts to black and Eric is seen heading back to his house, with the fog from before no longer visible. Eric is given more tasks today, which consists of crafting utilities, going mining, and making better tools. After crafting a chest and table, he heads off to find a cave. When he finds one, we then cut to him navigating the cave in the dark, with the scene being noticeably darker than normal. On top of that, Eric is not alone. That red figure has followed him here, its red eyes piercing the screen. However, just like before, Eric doesn't seem to notice. He completes his tasks of mining and obtaining better hardware and heads further into the cave. Eventually, he stumbles upon a mine shaft, another out-of-place structure, and decides to explore and collect the tracks. While exploring, he peers down one of the empty corridors, and something odd happens. The words guilty flash on screen, and the sound accompanying it is clearly a train. Again, Eric takes no notice of this and makes his way back home, with the fog from video 1 appearing off in the distance. Then we see Eric smelting the ores he's gathered, and this time, the fog has returned once again, shrouding the overworld. Nothing notable happens for the remaining duration of the video, and Eric bids us farewell. Now, before moving on to video 4, let's take another look at the two garbled texts found in videos 1 and 3. When combined together, this takes us to another video. The title, when translated from Swedish, reads, X2000 collides with rubber goal at Kimstab, Sweden.
God morgon, här är rapport. Ett X2000-tåg på väg mot Malmö krockade med en traktor utanför Norrköping igår kväll. Ombord fanns 250 passagerare, bland annat ett ungdomslag som var på väg hem från en handbollsturnering.
Och rätt som det är så börjar typ tåget skaka och sånt.
Och det kommer rök.
Ja, rök och typ alla blev jätterädda.
Lamporna åker ner och hela taket och väskorna.
Ja, alla väskor åkte på.
Fönsterna gick sönder.
Ja, och så alla ledare bara sa att vi skulle ner på golvet så alla bara slängde sig ner.
Bara glas och plåt skilde flickorna i handbollslaget från hjullastaren när tåget kolliderade med skopan. Fönster krossades och skopan rev upp hål i plåten längs hela tåget. Som av ett under har ingen omkommit i olyckan. Ännu är det bäst att tillägga.
Alla gick i panik, alla var rädda, alla började skrika och allt det vi gjorde bara var att försöka komma ut därifrån.
Och enligt de senaste uppgifterna skadades 18 personer, varav 2 allvarligt.
The date this crash took place was the 12th of December 2010, just 3 months before Eric began his beta testing, before the red figure began appearing in his game. And before we move on to why this crash is relevant, I want to make one thing clear.
While I was researching this series, I came across a community post from the creators of Gustav Johansson. While they originally included the train crash as part of their story, they realized how insensitive it was to those involved. They've since apologized to their audience and the victims, and changed up the story so that the crash was no longer a focal point in their series. Do not harass the creators or contact anyone involved in the crash, please.
Announcement from Mojang took place on September 13, 2010, the following day after the train crash.
Uppmärksamma alla. Mojang kommer nu att hålla sitt tal om den tragiska förlusten av och
Vi känner till tragedin som inträffade vid Kimstad station. Alla som är involverade i Mojang är djupt ledsna över dessa tragiska förluster. För S och G's liv är vi evigt tacksamma. Spåret som de banade kommer inte att gå obemärkt förbi. Under överskådlig framtid kommer allt vi gör på Mojang att vara för dem. Det kommer att bli en hyllning till deras liv och det arbete de lagt ner på vårt projekt. Titta aldrig in i djävulens ögon, för de har tillitens bedrägliga lockelse.
Towards the end of the first video, flashes of email and text conversations are shown. Firstly, an email correspondence between two employees at Mojang.
As if you guys have continuously been avoiding the emails, and I have been emailing you guys. You must have realized that we were right about this the whole time. And to make matters worse for you, we found out how you were doing it. I'm sure the public won't be impressed when they find out. So how about you set up a time and place and let us come to a compromise? Otherwise, the company will feel the repercussions. Hard. Sincerely. Thank you for contacting us. We continue to hear your complaints, and as a Mojang employee yourself, we are very disappointed in your threats. You know fully well where we stand on the matter and how much we believe in this approach to Minecraft will benefit the sales from the audience. However, we believe we have come up with a solution to this problem. Why don't we hold a meeting in the Malmo office? Bring 2. We can further discuss it there. Mojang.
Then, a text conversation between the two who boarded that train. Or were meant to.
Hey, you'll probably have to attend the meeting without me. I'm feeling really sick. Just let me know how it goes. Stay safe, I love you.
Of course. Get some rest. I'll let you know when I get on the train. Good thing the tickets were free. Ha ha.
At the top of this exchange reads the text, "Don't trust them." So now we know 2 Mojang employees discovered something hidden deep within the company that helped boost Minecraft sales during its launch period. Whatever this thing is, it was so alarming that those 2 tried to get into contact with their higher-ups to alert them. However, with enough pushing, they managed to get into contact with someone, but were met with pushback. One of the higher-ups decided the best way to go about this conflict would be to meet at another office via train the following day, a train that went from Stockholm to Malmo. However, one of those employees missed the trip at the last minute. But given Mojang's announcement from earlier, they didn't know that and assumed both of them died. But what is this big secret Mojang is so desperate to keep? Well, Video 5 gives us a look at exactly what we're dealing with here. Gameplay 11/20/2011 takes place almost a year after all current events. Our unnamed protagonist appears to be playing on beta 1.8.1. The videos, outside of strange black cuts, doesn't depict anything out of the ordinary. Towards the middle of his exploration, he comes across a dog, tames it, and keeps it at his home. He continues exploring on, and things begin to take a weird turn while mining. That voice, when reversed, says,
You better take good care of him now, Will.
The binary, when decoded, takes us to an Instagram profile named Lindsay Brown. Her description reads, "Love my fam. Family of 3 + 1. We miss you, Scout." For story purposes, let's ignore the account post for now and focus on the profile itself, specifically the image. In it, we can see a family of 3 with 2 dogs. However, if the bio is anything to go off of, then one of those dogs is dead. And if that's the case, then what follows at the end of the video makes a lot of sense. You killed him. The game knows. Think back to the phone call when they mentioned different mechanics.
Hunger, a sprinting mechanic, all sorts of different things to make the game stand out.
Oh, awesome. That's cool. Yeah. Well, hey, now I'm thinking about it, our ideas do kind of go hand in hand.
How's that?
Well, we're aiming to achieve an experience that isn't the same for every single person. Like, what if somebody wants to take it slow, play the game at their own pace?
What are you getting at?
Well, like, we want to make a way so that the person doesn't have a sprint option. Or maybe the flowers and the trees in the world are more vibrant and special.
And what did we see during Eric's next beta footage? An added hunger bar and more foliage. The AI these employees spitballed has been implemented into the game. It grows, memorizing game patterns and ripping real-world events, manifesting them inside the game. This is the technology the train victims uncovered. This is what Mojang in this universe is so desperate to keep covered up. Because if it gets out, it could ruin them. And unluckily for them, someone or something within the game's code knows about it and is determined to get that information out. Moving back to the beta logs, Eric is tasked with finding naturally generated structures. In his explorations, he manages to find 3. The first being a ruined portal. In the chest accompanying it resides 3 items. But the only important item is this name tag, which seems to have some importance as Eric pauses on it for a moment before collecting it. Eric looks up how to open the portal, and upon doing so, is greeted by a flat nether. The words "I'm scared" flash on screen before he decides to head back. As he's warping, a tall, lanky figure can be seen for a moment before he warps back to the overworld. The next structure he comes across is a village. However, this doesn't appear to be a normal village, as most, if not all, of the structures generated here aren't found naturally. Eric eventually wanders off towards a house with Mojang banners near its entrance and finds a master cartographer. While browsing its items, when his mouse hovers over the paper trade, for a moment, the text changes to tickets. The last structure he comes across is the mine shaft. However, when Eric finds it again, he discovers more tracks and redstone torches have been placed. Exploring his new surroundings, he finds a minecart and gets in the way of it, causing it to derail. When he mentions that he got in the way, the text changes to red and reads, "You're in the way." Soon after, when Eric is following one of the carts, the red figure can be spotted yet again when he glances at a corner. This time, it's on screen for significantly longer, yet Eric still doesn't seem to notice. He continues his exploration of the mine shaft for a bit longer, before this happens. This being looks somewhat similar to one of the train victims shown before. While the red figure seems to be haunting the code, this being appears to haunt this world. If the personalization AI brought the real-life incident of gameplay 11/20/2011 into that player's world, then perhaps the AI is doing the same thing again, and somehow Eric and the 2 beings are connected to it. Brightening the image shown at the end of the video reveals a creepy smiling face. This shape matches near perfectly with the face shown in Mojang's announcement video. With the appearance of the red figure in the video, it wouldn't be a stretch to assume that they are one and the same. And this line. It could be the one leaving all the cryptic messages in each video. But whether these messages are for us, Eric, or an unknown third party is yet to be seen. In the description of this video lies some binary code, and when decrypted, it reads as follows. Verily, the weight of intricate knowledge falls upon me like a solemn cloak. In the shepherd's guise, I am compelled to guide thee through the intricate tapestry of understanding, a journey fraught with the sense of impending tribulation. May the dawn of a future transpire, wherein thou dost weave together the fragments of wisdom bestowed upon thee, discerning the righteous path through the mosaic of enlightenment. In Beta Log 8, Eric decides to stray away from his given tasks and instead plans to expand his home and shows us something he's been working on. The expansion of his home goes off without a hitch. However, Eric fails to take notice of a new addition added to his home. A wooden door is placed right underneath his staircase on the first floor. Eric then proceeds to show us his surprise, a railway he built with the pieces from that mine shaft. After roaming the village for a bit, Eric heads back home to rest. While sorting his items for the night, the name tag is missing from his inventory, and the video makes mention of it. The next morning, when Eric goes back to the village, all villagers now have names associated with them. Two notable names are that of Gustav and Emma, paired together in one of the homes. There's Kyle, Alexander, Bobby, Andreas, Ebba, Alice, and the boss. When Eric returns back home, he finally takes notice of the door. Mojang audit report takes place 2 weeks after Mojang's announcement.
Good afternoon, Mojang team. Thank you for joining us today. I'm here to present the findings from our audit for the month of September 2010. Our objective is to provide an unbiased assessment of your financial activities during this period. So let's start with the key findings. Overall, your financial operations are robust. We've identified a few areas that require attention, but I want to emphasize that the majority of your processes are in good shape. Before we discuss the areas of improvement, I would like to highlight some of the positive aspects. You have demonstrated strong financial discipline, particularly in the recent acquisitions. The purchase of the state-of-the-art TVs for the office and upgraded office equipment has enhanced the work environment significantly. Additionally, the investment in quality food for the office has contributed to a positive and productive atmosphere. Okay, moving on to our audit process. We employed a thorough methodology to ensure a comprehensive review. Our team conducted a detailed analysis of your recent acquisitions, including the TVs, office equipment, and office supplies. This approach allowed us to gather the necessary data for a comprehensive assessment. Now let's discuss our recommendations to you. So we have identified a few suggestions that, if implemented, will further optimize the management of these new assets. Firstly, ensuring proper maintenance schedules for the office equipment, and secondly, exploring cost-effective ways to restock the office supplies. We appreciate your attention and compliance today, and of course we will provide you with a detailed written report for your records, including specific recommendations on managing the recent acquisitions. If you have further questions or need any additional clarification after reviewing the report, do not hesitate to reach out. Before we wrap up here, we did want to highlight one extra thing. There was a purchase that caught our eye that we just want to make sure was intentional and or necessary, so can you please explain what this purchase from...
At the top of the video, a link fades in for a few frames. Searching it would bring you to the local SE, which appears to be a Swedish news website. Reading the article linked, it provides more details for the previously mentioned train crash.
A high-speed X2000 train and a crane truck near Kimstad station between Linköping and Norrköping in eastern Sweden collided on Sunday evening. Police and emergency services received the alarm about the train crash shortly before 8 p.m. The train was on its way from Norrköping south towards Linköping. The train started its journey in Stockholm at 5:40 p.m. and was due to arrive in Malmö just after 10 p.m.
A crane truck. The name provided by the audit official is that of a construction carrier. Heading to the product page, you'll find that they sell a variety of vehicles, including mobile crane trucks. Gameplay 11/25/2013 takes place 3 years after the beta log and starts with a text conversation between an unknown individual and a Lewis V. From there, we're taken to Lewis's gameplay. Interestingly enough, Lewis subconsciously follows the same set of tasks Eric did in his video. Cut down a tree, build a house, build a garden. The rest of the video continues normally until rain begins to fall. At first, it starts off slowly, then begins to pick up, both in intensity and sound.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do, guys. I looked it up and said I need cobblestone, but I don't know where to get that. So I'm just gonna stay in the house until morning. So yeah. It's really coming down out there. I don't really like that. What's going on out there? What the? We can't get out of my house. We can't get out of the house. What the fuck? What? I can't move. What the fuck? What's going on?
The images flashed on screen are that of a destroyed home and a news article about tornado damage. The enchantment table, when decoded, reads, "Enjoy your copy, Lou." Given how the text conversation glitched at the mention of Minecraft, it seems as though the personalization AI activates whenever it's mentioned. When it's active, it somehow manages to pull real events from a player's life and either torments or terrorizes them with the memories from those events. And speaking of terrifying events, Beta log 12/17/2010 follows Eric after the events of the last log. He doesn't acknowledge how that log ends, and instead tells us that this will be his last beta test. His final task? Secure a map. Eric decides to head down to the village from before, hoping to find a map there. On his way there, the screen cuts to black, and when it comes back, it's raining again. Reaching the village, Eric begins his search. He finds a group of villagers huddled at the center of town, but as he approaches them, they scatter. From there, he heads to the Mojang building and finds a map on the cartography table, already made. With his final task complete, he thanks us all for watching his logs and heads back to his minecart, only to find Emma inside of it. When he catches up to her, he instead finds a new structure. At first glance, it may be hard to make it out, but outlined, it appears to be a crane knocked over on its side, falling directly on the track. On it, a sign reads,
Nightmare Series.
This crane belonged to that company. It was bought by someone within Mojang and used to cause the wreck and kill Emma. And where was she heading? Back home to Stockholm, from Malmo. She was leaving Malmo offices, where she most likely had discussions about the AI tech used in Minecraft with the higher-ups based on the email from video 4. Mojang had her killed. Do you understand? That was the goal of the red figure. These manipulations of the game weren't to cause fear or terror, but to spread truth.
Minecraft, explore, defend. There are so many things to do in this blocky world. Collect materials to build huge structures. Mine to the depths of the world to collect precious jewels. Fight off evil creatures in the night. Secure your base with the highest form of technology. The world is really your sandbox in Minecraft. With our adaptability feature within the game, Minecraft learns from you. The more you play, the more it will know. You like to build grand and ambitious projects. Enjoy extra biomes of new materials and decoration blocks. Are you more of a technical player and like to build contraptions? Enjoy a whole new palette of redstone. Whether you like nature, fighting mobs, going on quests, casting spells, building a community, whatever it may be, it's never impossible in the world of Minecraft. So what are you waiting for? Download Minecraft today.
Minecraft is available on PC, Mac, phone or tablet, various consoles, and more. If you have questions about the availability of Minecraft in certain platforms, call 1-800-MINE for more details. Mojang is not responsible for potential stress, anxiety, depression, seizures, psychological damage, injury or death. If you experience anything unnatural, contact Mojang first. All other attempts at contacting law enforcement will be futile. You know better than to do that.
Adaptability. This explains everything. Think about it. Listen to these sections in the Intercepted phone call.
Hunger, a sprinting mechanic, all sorts of different things to make the game stand out.
Oh, awesome. That's cool. Yeah. Well, now I'm thinking about it, our ideas do kind of go hand in hand.
How's that?
Well, we're aiming to achieve an experience that isn't the same for every single person. Like, what if somebody wants to take it slow, play the game at their own pace?
What are you getting at?
Well, like, we want to make a way so that the person doesn't have a sprint option. Or maybe the flowers and the trees in the world are more vibrant and special, unique.
And what do we see in Eric's second beta video? A hunger bar, vibrant biomes, ores, structures, new crafting materials. It didn't just stop at Eric. It did the same for the gameplay logs as well. It took the time to analyze the gameplay styles of all players and morphed to their needs. The adaptability feature worked and persisted long after Eric's logs, and it was most likely a well-kept secret among the top-ranking employees in this universe's Mojang. These employees, somewhere along the line, discovered the adaptability AI could be used to secretly gain information on those that played them. This feature, given Lewis's text conversation or the end of the phone call, would only activate via code like personalization or Minecraft. When said or typed, it would allow the adaptability AI to begin stealing information from the user and use it against them. Those employees wanted to keep it so secret that they were willing to silence anyone who learned about it. Emma and her comrade most likely discovered this early on in Minecraft's development, hence why Mojang had her killed off. But what about the accident? All the hints in the beta log seem like something Mojang definitely would not want to get out. Well, enter the red figure. This entity, most likely Emma's comrade, used the adaptability tech to feed bits of information to Eric. It provided secret codes, special structure generation, and entity sightings to feed Eric the truth. This is something Mojang did not plan for, and doesn't seem to be able to control either. And it all culminates when Eric discovers who's responsible for that train accident. And in regards to Eric Anderson, he tries to make things right. In regards to Eric Anderson picks up where the last beta log left off. Eric sits looking at the map, and for a brief moment, text appears on screen. We then cut to several cameras hidden around Eric's home. They track him heading down to the kitchen, where he can be seen calling someone. After the phone call ends, Eric heads back to his room, and the footage cuts out. Cutting back in, it's shown that we're now in the next day, and 3 hours have passed. The cameras continue to switch for a bit, until one of them catches something unsettling. From here, the camera switches perspectives to Eric's handheld phone from his room. He's heard the door open and decides to check it out. After seeing the door wide open, he decides to hide in his room, but notices something odd on his laptop. It's his house inside of the game.
I knew it. I knew it. What? Is this? Hold on. I need to put this down.
After this weird encounter, Eric finally decides to face his fears and begins looking for the intruders inside of his home. After being caught, the next thing we're shown is Eric in the back of a car, and what sounds like beeping. After this, the footage cuts to black, then to a news broadcast.
Thank you for joining us today on Channel 5, where we have a new story developing. 22-year-old Eric Anderson, as ID'd by his close friends, has been found deceased and dismembered with a gunshot wound to the head behind his home this Saturday morning. When police arrived on the scene, information was received that he had called 911 last night in hopes to reopen a case that was thought to have been closed. Police claim they were given an anonymous tip to check the house this morning, and when they did, they were met with a tragedy. As I am reporting, there are no leads or any evidence that has been left behind, meaning whoever is responsible was trying to cover their tracks. Eric will head to forensics as they try and figure out what exactly happened. We send our prayers out to the Anderson family, and as always, more on this story as it develops.
Eric is dead. Mojang found out about his discovery. Given the planted cameras in his home, it wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination to assume that they also tapped into the phones as well. And what about that beeping in the car? Well, when decoded, this is what it reads.
How did he find out?
He must have had help from the inside. Mojang made it clear their employees were brainwashed.
We are sure both him and Gustav died, right?
Gustav. the one who got away. Andy and the Iron Golem is a short film created by Alex Persson, who, in this universe, appears to be the son of Notch. In it, we follow the story of 5 key characters: the zombies, the Endermen, the Golem, Andy, and Johan. While at first glance, this story appears to be one of lighthearted shenanigans, emulating the style of other popular machinimas created around the time. The ending sequence, however, leaves me to believe otherwise. When you view the film a second time, with the context of the previous videos, it starts to make sense. My interpretation of this film is as follows. The zombies shown represent that of Mojang, who created Minecraft, represented by the Golem, as a means of spying on and stealing their customers' information. The Enderman is most likely a third party, maybe the train company from before, discovering Mojang's true intentions behind their game. However, rather than turn them into the authorities, the third party decides to let them walk free and keep them out of harm's way. In exchange, Mojang lets this third party use their data breaching tech. That is, until Eric, represented by Andy, begins snooping around. Andy, with the help of his friend Johan, works to uncover the true intent behind the Golem. Johan, given the abbreviation of the channel name, is meant to represent Gustav. Johan uses red text to communicate, and at the 3:05 mark of the video, we can clearly see the visage of Gustav at the back of the village. Hell, when Andy goes to confront the Golem, Johan uses the same phrase as Gustav does. He is lying, he knows everything, they are guilty. This is a direct parallel to the actions between Eric and Gustav in the beta logs, especially the ending. When Andy attempts to contact the authorities after his encounter with the Golem, the Enderman appears again and takes him away, just like in the previous video. During the interrogation, Andy reveals to the Enderman that his friend Johan is alive, which shocks him. Could this be foreshadowing from Gustav's end, revealing that Mojang eventually finds out about him? For now, we'll just have to wait and see. Just like the previous video, when Andy gets too close to the truth, he's killed off, just like Eric. The code at the end of the video, when put into a base 64 decoder, gives you the message, first word, first letter, every sentence. At first, I thought this meant to take every letter from every sentence in this video, but that led to nowhere. Then I remembered something peculiar from video 4. That video's description held a broken Google Drive link, but since I was unable to decode it the first time around, I planned to leave it alone. That was until my partner pointed out something peculiar. In the comments of the video lies a seemingly useless text string from Gustav. She pointed out that some of the sentences in that text block had select letters in upper and lowercase. When applying the code's rules to this text, a new string of letters is revealed. These letters are an exact match to the missing characters from the Google Drive link. Matching the letters with the dots and pasting it into a search bar leads us to a new text document in Swedish, titled Talks. So now we know. Emma and Gustav were fed information from someone else within the company, most likely from the individuals from the Intercepted phone call way back at the start of the series. Eric was a pawn in all of this. The moment he agreed to be a beta tester was the moment his fate was sealed. And the comment about the AI going rogue at the end of the conversation, what if Gustav somehow managed to hack into the adaptability feature? That could explain how he was able to feed messages to Eric while evading detection from Mojang personnel. But what about the other instances of the AI going rogue? I'm more inclined to believe that Lewis and Will's instances were from the data breaching part of the adaptability feature, stealing information about their lives and throwing it back at them with no other reason than to torment. Even with what's been revealed, we still don't know how Alex plays into all of this, or why Gustav has shifted interest to him. Some more digging needs to be done. Video 15 appears to be a RIP termination video sent to employees who are let go from Mojang. It starts off lighthearted, but once it gets to the checklist, it begins to devolve. Well, what do we have here? Gustav's termination survey. It seems as though he was fired without cause on September 13th, 2010, the same day both he and Emma were pronounced dead by Mojang. He had no idea why he was fired. We also learned that his favorite color is red, and Emma was his spouse. Now we know what fuels Gustav's actions throughout this series. He wants to avenge his wife and take down the company that took her away. These are not coping methods. They are hypnosis tactics. Once Mojang has you at your most vulnerable, that is when they strike. They hold you hostage within your mind. So even when you no longer work for them, their secrets stay hidden. And to those who break free of that control, well, they're dealt with. Their deaths are swept under the rug, like nothing ever happened. Video 16's music disc tutorial takes place in 2014, 4 years after the initial incident involving Eric, Gustav, and Mojang. In it, we follow Alex, our protagonist, whose name can be found by pausing the video as he glances at his house. In his tutorial, he shows us how to obtain music discs in Minecraft 1.8. The video follows a relatively normal format, until the end, when Alex places the music disc in the jukebox. The appearance of Gustav once again, and the distorted jukebox, leads me to believe that this could be the first contact between him and Alex, as it wouldn't make sense if Alex made the machinima before meeting Gustav, as he would have no knowledge of the story beats portrayed in the video. As for the track the jukebox plays, when slowed down by about 23%, a Morse code message can be decoded, giving you this string of text. Plugging this into a URL reveals a new video.
Hey Kyle, it's me. Just wanted to call and let you know I'm not feeling well and I probably won't come in today, so if you could let Marcus know, that would be great.
Who is this?
It's Gustav. Is everything okay?
I thought you were dead, Gustav.
What? Of course not. Why would you think that?
The train. It crashed last night.
The train? Oh my god, Emma was on that train. She hasn't called me or texted me.
Gustav, she's dead. And you were supposed to be too.
Wait. It was a fucking setup. And you knew about it, didn't you? Why the hell didn't you say anything?
I'm sorry. Gustav, I'm so sorry. I wanted to. We all did, but they took control. Some of us here are worse off than others.
They? Who's they?
I can't tell you.
Kyle, you fucking owe it to me. You owe it to me. She's dead. And apparently I was next. So who the hell is they?
I just can't. Okay, they have eyes and ears everywhere. They're probably on their way right now. I wasn't supposed to be on phone duty today.
What are you doing in here?
That's her right now, Gustav. I have to go.
Get off the phone.
Kyle, wait, just hurry. Who is they? Who is that woman?
Just stop. Okay, listen to me. Delete this number. In fact, completely destroy your phone.
Kyle.
I don't want to end up like Emma. You would lose
Kyle, put this phone down.
Okay, but who is she, Kyle?
Put the phone down!
The conversation between Gustav and Kyle most likely took place hours after the train crash. Kyle isn't aware this started. As indicated by the Golem video, someone above him is calling the shots, and is determined to keep Mojang's secrets hidden. It seems Mojang may have caught wind of Gustav's actions, as in the next video, they're seen covering their tracks. Video 17 appears to be Mojang's attempts to pitch the adaptability feature to their employees. Next, we follow a text conversation between Kyle and Emma. At the mention of Bobby and Kyle, two individuals show on screen for a moment. Bobby and Kyle were the ones talking at the very start of the series. After this, we cut to the aftermath of the train wreck.
Okej frun, om du kunde gå åt sidan. Vi måste få in dessa kroppar för kriminalteknik och obduktion.
Det kommer inte att behövas. Vi tar det härifrån.
Ursäkta mig, fru, vi är med polisen.
Ser du min bricka? Jag har högre rang.
What? What are you looking at? You look at me with such strange eyes. But really, it's you that is the strange one. I might look out of the ordinary, but at least I know everything I need to know. I have my bases covered. There are no mysteries in my life. None at all. Yeah, you're here right now because you need to know something. There is something you want from this. Something you want from me. Some sort of answer. A clue. Anything to get you closer to the truth. Because the truth will set you free, right? I promise you, it won't. Whatever you are looking for will not satisfy you. You might know the truth, but it won't give you a feeling of triumph or joy. No, you'll just feel empty. A sense of loneliness. A sense of remorse. Yes, that's it. Remorse. Yet, here you are. You're still here. Looking for something. Looking for a loose end. I can help you. I can, but I'm warning you. You're not going to like what you hear. Once this whole thing is all said and done, you'll come back to me with the same feeling of remorse. I'm talking too much. Here, I'll give you what you're looking for.
It seems as if my attempts were futile. I tried my very best, and it ended up getting a man killed. What a shame. They're probably on to me now, too. I need to be wiser in my decisions. Next time, I need more leverage. I think I know exactly what to do. But now is not the right time.
After this conversation between the viewer and Gustav, we then fade to Eric's home. The fog is absent. The title and description of the video, when translated, read, End of Chapter 1. We have only just begun. But our story does not end here. Remember that ringing Gustav left for us? Well, running the audio through a spectrogram reveals another hidden URL. However, one character has been replaced with that same eye from the Golem video. I decided to start with numbers before moving on to letters, and after placing 9 into the eye slot, a new video is uncovered. In it, 2 important conversations are revealed. The first appears to be between the higher-ups at Mojang. Without the proper context, it's hard to place when this conversation happened. The mention of a director is also interesting, considering we've been operating under the notion that the higher-ups controlled everything at Mojang. There's someone at the very top calling all the shots here. They probably caught wind of Gustav's actions, and may see it fit to finally intervene. The other conversation is the second half of the text exchange between Gustav and Emma. This time, from Gustav's point of view. All there is to take away here is that Emma was the one who pushed Gustav to stay home. The fact that he was sick that day was an added bonus. It seems as though the series is gearing up to reveal some big players and some even bigger events. What will become of Gustav? Who is the director? What does Alex have to do with any of this? All will be answered in due time. Prepare yourselves. Welcome to Chapter 2. 2 days before Alex's next tutorial would be uploaded, the Lindsey Brown account would make a new post. The post contained a single image, which appeared to be Alex's house upside down with 2 sets of hexadecimal ciphers. The one inside the image reads, "Next time, I need more leverage." While the one inside the comments reads, "I have compromised this account." 2 days later, a video titled "How to Get to the End Dimension in 1.8" was uploaded. In it, Alex's tutorial follows that premise, as he adventures around his world, finding the necessary items needed. Things take a weird turn once he begins his trek through the Nether, specifically while being attacked by a ghast. Gustav is not only following Alex around his world, but also protecting him? It doesn't just stop there. As Alex runs low on resources, Gustav provides him with a full stack of pork chops. Later, when Alex discovers the end portal, he runs out of Eye of Ender before completing it. He leaves to try and find more, only to come back and find the portal already completed. Once in the end, the Ender Dragon is noticeably absent, and Alex stumbles across another oddity. The text that flashed on screen for a moment is a Caesar cipher, and when shifted 19 times, it reads,
What do you really know about your father?
Marcus Persson will launch his new company in hopes to make a game that to him will be the next step in the gaming world.
Marcus Persson is developing a game called Minecraft with his newfound employees.
I mean, have you seen this game? It's ugly and it's really just not fun at all.
I don't understand the direction he's taking us in. I mean, it just lacks substance, you know?
I agree. I mean, I just don't see how this would appeal to anyone over the age of 6.
Mark my words, this will be Marcus's biggest mistake. Unless he has some sort of trick up his sleeve, this will fail.
It needs something. Some sort of gimmick. I don't know what, but right now the demographic is just lacking.
Marcus, is there anything you would like to say about the turmoil in Mojang currently?
Midway through the documentary, Gustav cuts in with a message for Notch. text flash on screen reads, "I finally found the leverage I needed." On screen, during the recording, is the train wreck. Gustav is using Alex to get close to Notch. Not Alone opens on Alex's zoomed out, hazy point of view. This could be some sort of flashback. Alex heads to the Nether, and while he explores, a low TV hum grows in the background. Eventually, he comes across a wooden door. The order in which the tracks from earlier were placed reveal a hidden message. Nihilist. A person who believes that life is meaningless and rejects all religious and moral principles. Gustav, while acknowledging he feels remorse for involving Alex into his goal to take down Mojang, feels as though this is the only way to get the results he needs. Like Eric, Alex is nothing more than a pawn. Encounter starts off with Alex's father going to check in on him. Upon receiving no reply, he enters Alex's room, only to find several sheets of paper littering the floor. Closer inspection of the drawings reveals them to be pictures of Gustav. Like Eric, Alex too has become enthralled in the web of mystery and lies introduced by Gustav. We then cut to gameplay between Alex and a new character, Cool Dad 79. Remember back to the Golem video, the description of which gave us Alex's full name. Alex Person, the son of Marcus Person. The video plays out normally. Alex gives his father a tour of the world. They explore and mine, and when all is said and done, Alex ends the video for his viewers and leaves the world. The moment he does, we cut to Notch's perspective, who immediately calls out to Gustav. Given this exchange, the description for this video suddenly makes a lot more sense. You can't have your cake and eat it too. The video cuts to black before another conversation between Notch and presumably the director takes place. Our next video, when decoded using an A1 Z26 decoder, is entitled Nightmare, and starts with a message from Gustav to us, the viewer.
Hello. It's been a while. Things only get worse from here. I hope you know. And what you came for might be disturbing to look at. I hope you are aware of what you've gotten yourself into. If you're deep down the rabbit hole, as I'm sure you are, you're not just a bystander anymore. You are being given information that will change you forever. Certainly changed me. That's why I went and I did it. Why I had to do it. I had to do it. I had to do it.
The video then cuts to Alex's house once again. The player wanders for a bit and attempts to interact with the world, only for their actions to be reset by Gustav. Opening the chest inside the home, they find flint and steel and attempt to burn down Alex's home. Before doing so, several images flash on screen for a brief moment. Eric's beta logs, Gustav and Emma, the train wreck, Notch's son. Our unnamed protagonist sets fire to Alex's home when the scene suddenly shifts to night. Gustav guides the player to Her's offices, and when opening the door, text flashes on screen for a moment. This text, when put through a base 64 decoder, then shifted backwards once, reveals the name Ebba. While searching her office, our protagonist discovers a book containing information on one Alex person. But before they can read it, our protagonist wakes up. What we just witnessed was a physical manifestation of a nightmare Notch experienced, which was somehow influenced or created by Gustav. But rather than cower away, Notch decides to do some digging of his own, which results in video 23, titled After Hours. Notch decides to take matters into his own hands and infiltrates Mojang's headquarters. His goal is to determine if the company knows anything about Alex. To do this, he first needs to find the master key, then make his way to the 3rd floor. Upon finding the master key and advancing upstairs, Notch discovers that he's not alone. Notch takes shelter in a nearby room and surveys his surroundings. For a brief moment, a vestige of Gustav can be spotted on one of the whiteboards, but when Notch takes a second glance, it vanishes. Notch finally makes his way to Ebba's office and discovers a potential threat document containing identifying information regarding Alex. Below it lies a report and conclusion regarding Alex's situation. Before Notch has a chance to process the information, he wants After this, we're greeted with Notch's internal dialogue. Intercepted gameplay.mov follows another unnamed protagonist, who appears to have captured something strange in their world. The video opens with our player roaming around their world while they travel back to their base. However, upon entering inside, the scenery changes, and a new basement has been added to their home. Exploring it reveals a hidden corridor that should not be there.
Thank you for coming. You've got a mission of critical importance, and I believe you're the perfect fit. You're Swedish, correct? Good. This needs a local touch. Our intel confirms that a small team of developers in Sweden have created a software unlike anything we've seen. They can extract data from every digital avenue imaginable. Social media, text messages, and even local files. If technology gets out, we're looking at a global meltdown. Scary on the scale that we can't afford. The task is simple, but vital. Establish contact, introduce yourself as an agent, overseeing their operations, and ensure that it stays under lock and key. No leaks, no rumors, and above all, secure a copy of that software. The world doesn't know it yet, but this technology is Pandora's box. Do whatever it takes to keep it shut. I expect your full report once the mission is complete. And don't fuck this up.
högre. Där.
What we just witnessed appeared to have been several snippets of conversations between multiple events that have taken place over the course of Gustav Johansson. The conversation between the director and Mueller is straightforward. They are the third party that discovered the true intentions behind Mojang's adaptability AI. The director appears to be the one who sent Agent Mueller to Mojang to monitor the situation. However, this is the first time we've seen the name Mueller in this series, which leads me to believe that they may have taken up a false identity. But hold that thought for a moment, as further context is needed to substantiate this claim. Our next room takes place during the night of the train crash. Notch and someone else reveal that 2 bodies were found during the crash, which may have contributed to the claim that Gustav also died there. Room 3 is another point of view from the hidden phone call between Gustav and Kyle. Given that we hear that snippet of audio towards the end with Kyle getting shot, it's safe to say that the person on the phone was not the one who opened fire, but could have been a guard who was on standby during the whole situation. The computer found in room 4 details the aftermath of Kyle's death. I interpreted this conversation to be between Agent Mueller and the director. Killing Kyle was not a part of the plan. The director decided to pull Mueller from the project, although it seems our secret agent has decided to go AWOL. Room 5, although brief, depicts the events of Eric's kidnapping and murder from the side of the abductors. Since this is shown directly after the conversation between the director and Mueller, Mueller was unable to respond to the director because they were out silencing another person, another threat. The text flashed on screen before the player is taken back to their world further builds on the Mueller was just following orders theory, as it hints that this player will be taken care of shortly, and that Mueller has remorse for the atrocities they've committed.
This is Kyle Wright with the first official test. This is the first build of the .jar file in action, created by myself and Gustav.
Whoa. Gustav and Kyle were the ones developing the adaptability feature? Well, this does make sense, considering that Bobby was in charge of the coding side of things. If I had to guess, I'd say Gustav was a part of Kyle's team, who oversaw this project. The first test sees our beta tester following through with the first task given to Eric way back at the beginning: build a house. Upon doing so, the game morphs to the player's playstyle and upgrades to a better version of Minecraft. Following this, the gameplay cuts to static, and several images flash on screen. The first is a conversation between Gustav, our first beta tester, and Kyle. Gustav informs Kyle that the first test was a success. Kyle goes to update Notch with the results, and, well, the image shown, when decoded from Swedish, reads as follows.
Personalization and the power of adaptation by Marcus Persson. In the ever-changing world of gaming, bold moves are often required to drive innovation. As the creator of Minecraft, I have always strived to push the boundaries of what a video game can be. With this in mind, I'm excited to share details of a new project that takes in-game personalization to an unprecedented level, where each game reflects not only your creativity, but also your identity.
Kyle revealed how Notch planned to use the adaptability feature to Gustav. This could be the catalyst that started everything. Speaking of Notch, let's check back on him. Let's see how he's faring during all of this.
There is something I need to show you.
Marcus? Why are you calling? Is something wrong? Did something go wrong with the project?
This ends right here, right now.
What are you talking about?
This has gone on for too long. The lies, the guilt, the murder. We've dug ourselves into a grave, and I don't want to sit here and die in it.
I have to cover up all the loose ends. It's the only way to keep the technology safe and secure.
I don't care about the technology. You can have it. I'm done using it. Whatever you came for, it's all yours. I don't want it to be associated with my company anymore.
It's not that simple. Marcus, you created it. Your name will forever be tied to its creation.
We're the only people who know about it. If the whole point was to keep it secure, then you, myself, and your director are the only ones who know about it. So take the fucking technology and get out of my life.
I'm afraid I can't let that happen. You pose a risk to our use of the technology if we let you free.
Oh yeah? Is that right? Who's our, Ebba? Who do you mean when you say we? What do you mean when you say that? Because I know you're not talking about the FBI or the CIA, because you don't fucking work for them anymore.
What? What are you talking about?
That's right. I snuck in. I retrieved a copy of the file that lists my son as a threat to the project. But I also saw old messages. Your director pulled you from this years ago. This is your thing. So now I have the leverage.
Marcus.
No, enough. I can't take any more blood on my hands. I'm selling the company.
What? You're doing what?
Microsoft. They've been showing interest. I've been in amateur talks with them. The deal is pretty much already made. I just have to make it official.
You can't do that. I have to approve of this.
You are a nobody. You have no more authority, no more badge, no more leverage to hold over my head. I'm doing this, and you're just going to have to figure it out.
Marcus, please. Okay, you're right. I shouldn't even be here right now. I was told to go back to the States years ago, but this was my first case. And I know if I went back, I would be dismissed. I need to make it right. I need to fix the things I messed up.
Well, you didn't do a very good job.
You're such an asshole. I should have you killed.
Oh yeah? And then what? Mojang founder Marcus Person found dead. They're gonna link it straight back to you. The whole killing people thing worked on random people, but against me? You have to be an idiot. Oh, but if you want to take your anger out, there is somebody that I know for a fact you missed.
Ebba is the spy. She was the one who had Emma, Kyle, Eric all killed. She was the one who planned to kill Alex. She was behind all of it. Notch found the leverage he needed as well. He gave up Gustav's location. He doesn't have much time. 3 weeks later, the end would be posted to the Gustav Johansson YouTube channel, marking the end of Gustav.
Hey Kyle, it's me. Just wanted to call and let you know I'm not feeling well and I probably won't come in today. So if you could let Marcus know, that would be great. It's Gustav. Is everything okay? What?
you killed him.
Oh yeah? And then what? Mojang founder Marcus Person found dead. They're gonna link it straight back to you. The whole killing people thing worked on random people, but against me? You have to be an idiot. Oh, but if you want to take your anger out, there is somebody that I know for a fact you missed.
With the remaining context shared from this video, we can finally piece together the timeline of events. During the lead up to the release of Minecraft, in this universe, Minecraft and Mojang as a whole were a declining company. Notch tasks his development crew with coming up with an idea that can save Minecraft. Specifically, he reaches out to two of his trusted employees, Kyle Wright and Bobby Rush. Kyle works with his team to come up with something grand, and with the help of another employee, Gustav Johansson, they begin working on a new piece of technology that changes Minecraft forever. Adaptability. The feature that allows Minecraft to change, depending on one's playstyle. On May 5th, 2010, Bobby and Kyle will work on coding it into the game, and on June 10th, 2010, Gustav would go on to conduct the first test of the adaptability feature, which proved to be a success. Kyle would go on to provide the results to Notch, who, in turn, would add the mechanic to Minecraft. However, both Bobby and Kyle implemented a Trojan horse within the feature, which, when installed, would gain access to users' files and steal their information. In America, the FBI would catch wind of this and would send a spy, Mueller, to Sweden to monitor Bobby and Kyle. To conceal her identity, Mueller would undergo a name change, Ebba, and pose as security at Mojang headquarters. Ebba would confront Bobby and Kyle regarding their Trojan horse. It's here where they struck a deal. Allow Ebba, and by proxy the FBI, to use the Trojan for their own personal use, and in turn, Ebba would ensure that no one outside of Bobby, Kyle, Notch, and her would find out about the technology. They agreed, and development would continue as normal up until the release of Minecraft Beta 1.0. Sometime between the deal and the release, Kyle would include Gustav and Emma, two other employees, in on the project. However, both of them detested the spyware, and Emma would go on to email Ebba, threatening to go public with the information. Ebba, not wanting the information to go public, would invite both Emma and Gustav to Mojang's Malmo location to discuss things. However, this meeting was a setup. On September 12, 2010, Kyle would inform Ebba of the setup. Emma would convince Gustav to stay home, and would not inform him of anything, and she was killed. The following morning, several events would take place. The phone call between Kyle and Gustav, the announcement honoring Emma and Gustav, the brainwashing of Mojang staff, and the immediate termination of Gustav. Following the death of Kyle at the hands of Ebba, Gustav would go into hiding. Using an old company-issued laptop, he would begin work on new spyware. At the same time, the FBI would catch wind of Kyle's death, and in turn, would dismiss Ebba from the case. However, Ebba would ignore those orders, and continue silencing those who came close to discovering Mojang's secret. 3 months later, Gustav would pose as a Mojang employee and recruit Eric Anderson as a beta tester for the first version of Minecraft. During Eric's sessions, Gustav would begin to hide clues regarding the death of Emma and the adaptability technology. Eric would piece everything together and would attempt to contact the authorities regarding Emma's accident, but couldn't get through to anyone. Ebba, who had been monitoring Eric for some time, would kidnap Eric a few hours later and kill him. Following this, Gustav would go back into hiding for 4 years, and during that time, 2 more adaptability incidents would occur. The first involving Will Brown, who may have murdered one of his dogs, and the second involves Lewis, who had witnessed his home destroyed in a string of tornado attacks. In 2014, Gustav would begin monitoring once again. This time, he'd struck gold, as the person he decided to watch would be Alex Person, the son of Notch. Gustav would once again plant bits of information for Alex to find. Through this method, Alex would become obsessed with the red figure, which would catch the attention of his father. From there, Notch would participate in Alex's YouTube videos. However, his true intentions were to confront Gustav, who, up to this point, everyone within Mojang assumed to be dead. Notch would have his wish granted, but at a cost. Either sell the company and lose control of the one thing he worked so hard for, or Gustav would tell Alex everything he knows, which would result in his son's death. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Notch, shaken by this ultimatum, would call Gustav's bluff and try to carry on like normal, but would have a nightmare, predicting his worst fear. Notch would go on to sneak into Mojang's headquarters and discover that Alex had indeed been monitored the entire time by Ebba. The following morning, Notch would call Ebba and demand the project, the murders, all evidence of it to be destroyed. Ebba attempts to convince Notch otherwise, but then he drops a bombshell. He's chosen to sell the company, to distance himself from all of this, and most importantly, to keep his son safe. But there's one more loose end to tie up. Gustav. Gustav will take the fall. After receiving this intercepted phone call, Gustav knows his time has come. In a haste, he creates the Gustav Johansson YouTube channel and schedules all the evidence he's collected to be uploaded 10 years later. His death will not be in vain. He found the leverage he needed.